Well, good evening, everybody, or good afternoon here. And this is the Jimmy Palumbo Show, a huge week for the Jimmy Palumbo Show and Jimmy Palumbo. And, of course, behind the glass, Dave Destruction Sturgio. Dave, how we doing today?
Good, man. We had a fantastic last couple days. It was a lot of fun and hanging out with Deej and Maganelli and all these, it was just an awesome
It was like
experience.
a beer league fest. We did the shoot. We're going to get into that heavy in just a moment. But of course, all you Rock Reigns and Ed Figueroa fans out there, this is show number 231, which means the number 31, of course, here at Shea, as I bang into this microphone. And you take a sip of the coffee. Another smooth transition here at Shea. And of course, you've got Aaron Hicks, Henry Bam Bam Mullins Day here at Shea. And of course, you know what? I found this guy. I found this funny. I don't know if you do. There was a coach on the Yankees, Jim Turner, right? But he coached from 1949 to 1973. And I'm like, that's a long time. During, like, think about it, like Joe DiMaggio territory all the way up to like Thurman. You know what I mean? And the Yankees were like shitty the last 8 years. Anyway,
Yeah.
Dave Winfield, of course, Jason Sehorn. I learned about Jason Sehorn. I didn't realize. If I would have was on a game show and I didn't realize he played 8 years with the Giants. I just didn't realize that.
Oh, he was there forever.
To me, he played like 2.5 years. He was good for like 4 games.
I was going to say down the backstretch, he wasn't all that great, but
yeah, he got hurt. Well, he blew out his knee returning kicks, jerk off. The Frank Cephas, Venditti just drove off the road. More on that later on. And of course, Donnie Barnes, Cowboy, and also George Teague. And
Mr. Cow, that's Mr. Defend the Star, George Teague. He was the one that knocked T.O. off the star.
Yes, I love that. And also Donnie Shell, and of course, your friend and mine for LGBTQ week, Mike Piazza. That's a shitty joke. That's one of those Butch Weininger rumors you always heard. But,
oh, man, that's great.
Anyway, show number 231. And of course, baseball card segment. This guy, I love when I think a guy was better. And then you read statistics like, this guy's, what is it? By the way, here I am, jerk off, doing a podcast for $7, and I'm mocking out a guy who played 10 years in a Major League Baseball.
Yeah, you might want to chill on that.
But I thought he was better than I was like, yeah. But this represents, if you Google the word average Major League Baseball player, he should be on the poster. Ladies and gentlemen, famous Dodger Mike Marshall.
Oh.
Yeah, he played for 10 years. He batted 270, 971 hits, 148 home runs. Played with the Dodgers most of his career. 1 year at the Mets where he sucked. Boston and California Angels. Best year, 1983. Batted 284, 17 home runs, 65 RBIs, which means he would bat fifth on the Yankees. In 84, he batted 294, 16 home runs, 72 RBIs. He won a World Series with Oakland, beat Oakland with the Dodgers, batted 212 in the playoffs, so he stunk there. He was traded for Juan Samuel with the Mets trade there. All-Star in 1984, which is probably like, we got to send one guy, that kind of thing. He got 2 rings, though, with the Dodgers. And he ended up like coaching, some community college in California, and then like the Pacific Coast. You ever see some of the names of the Pacific Coast, like the Ottawa Rough Time guys? Like it's like they're like the shittiest names. He did that for a while, but then again, there's always something I stumble upon that just there you go. He dated Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's. I love the fact that there's like a line item in his Wikipedia. Briefly dated Belinda Carlisle.
That means they were spotted out in Hollywood once. Right.
That's so funny to me. And he also lived in Sherman Oaks, which I lived about a par 9 away from Sherman Oaks. He still lives there now. So that's it. Mike Marshall, kind of a famous Dodger. I guess he was on some of the World Series teams, but he didn't really bat. I'm looking at his baseball card, and it's like this guy just represents average Mike Marshall. And he was the next card up. And that's what he gets. And of course, Patreon, I got to give a shout out. Now, my memory's going, as we all know. I think Darryl Clark's daughter, Melissa Clark, signed up, and I didn't mention it, which I can't believe that. But if I did, we are now up to 53, which maybe I did. We're Harry Carson now. and we're at 53 with
If
the
anybody's
addition of
keeping score at home, the score is now 53-3. Dave is on the board with 3 of Jimmy's Patreons over on mine now.
Right now, between Joe Rogan, Jimmy Palumbo, and Dave Sturcio, Jimmy's in second place. And it appears that Joe Rogan has a commanding lead, but Sturcio is certainly on the move to catch me. And we're looking for
and I'm so appreciative of that. By the way, like that's awesome. Like there's no reason anybody should be. I mean, look, you see the logo, Chop Sports. I'm in my studio. It helps all that. That's awesome. So thank you.
Listen, and what I get helps pay you for social media and that kind of thing. So it all helps out. And of course, we can always use a 54, an Andy Hedden. And for that, Venditti just drove off the road. So that's it. Thank you to all my Patreon members, Melissa Clark, my sister, Mary Riccardi, more on that later, and driving off the road, Venditti, also more on that later. All right. Well, now it's time to what I do here.
Well, before you get into, I'm sure you're gonna dive right into beer league. But
no, 1 second. I just want to say, chasingmiracles.com. Don't forget the patches. Don't forget. Listen, these people sell shit your body needs. It's organic. The patches, the trim thing.
No. Randomly yesterday, I'm walking in and out of the catering back area thing, right? And Maganelli looks at me and goes, "Hey, Dave, you got your Chasing Miracles patches on?"
I know. Those of you who don't know, and we're going to get to it in 5 seconds, Anthony DeSando, famous for Maganelli on Beer League, is the only guy in that entire universe yesterday that has listened to every episode of
every one of them.
He is like, and I've caught, listen, he could be a weird cat. He's very quiet and shy and all that stuff. But when you get him on the phone, he knows, like, he knew about Venditti driving off the road. He knows, like, he's like my biggest fan besides Hogan and Clark families.
Well, it's funny because I had put out a very brief thing, the thing that we're going to put together with all the podcast offerings and stuff like that with all the people in the cast. Right. And I put a still shot of me asking him about the podcast. Right. And I compared and I posted the America's Team asshole clip on Instagram. Right. Buddy replied to me, goes, "Hi, Jack. Bye, Jack." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. Like Beer League, yes, but let's not forget Sopranos. Let's not forget.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's not forget New Jack City. Like let's not forget.
There's another one. He was with. I just watched a clip of it. Somebody, a background actor, posted something with him. I forgot. He's a great actor.
He's
but
awesome.
Anyway. Chasing Miracles. And by the way, Anthony DeSando, big fan of the show. Maybe you should call the Hogans and the Clarks. How about a little Patreon there, Mister?
What you just did there was awful. You lost a listener by trying to sell yourself.
Absolutely, yes. Listen,
you
Anthony,
whore.
You little $3 a month. Come on, bro. Anyway, I love him. He's a great guy, and he's awesome in what we just shot. But go to chasingmiracles.com. Patches, shit your body needs. I got this new stuff called Trim, which I got to get to you, Dave. I forgot to bring him to the set. I'll get it. If I see you tomorrow night, I'll figure out a way to get it to you. It's really cool stuff. Go to there. Go talk to Tommy and Donna. And that is that. Chasingmiracles.com. Now, listen, this show should be dedicated a lot to what happened this week. We shot a pilot for Beer League. We've been talking about it. And it's going to air on this new streaming service called Watch213.tv. And I want to give a shout out to Natalie Vero. She's a doll. She's playing, I guess I can give out plot points. It don't matter. Natalie Vero plays Alphonse, his girlfriend. Anthony DeSando is back as Maganelli. Michael Deege as Alphonse Guido. Maddie Corman back as my wife. Francesco D'Onofrio as Johnny Trino's son. Lisa Grande as the love interest. Dylan Hardigan as Mario, which is Maganelli's kid. And Mark Riccadonna, who nobody knows who that is. And that's the funniest thing in there. And of course, your friend of mine, behind the bar, I'll leave it at that, Mr. Destruction himself, Dave Destruction Sturcio. The way you read your one line was just perfect here, Jay.
They're now calling me. I'm sorry. It's not only Dave Destruction, it is now Two Take Dave, because that's all it took was two takes. And I was out.
You know what? I felt bad because I wanted to get in there. Because I remember last time when you shot, sometimes Tom is so caught up in the tech stuff. which is a lot of anybody. Even my sister said, "Geez, a lot going on." I said, "I know. That's why everyone's got a job to do, and you can't." Sometimes yesterday I was making comments like, "Jimmy, you don't know what the hell you're talking about with the camera angles, what they're getting, what they're not." I wanted to be in there for you in case I'm like, I want because I could talk to you like, Dave, what the fuck? Like, I know in my mind, I know what this character is, and you do too, because you're gonna create it. But if the last time we shot, you were like just a little hesitant. I'm like, Dave, nah. But sometimes the director doesn't. No, I should say this. It's like sometimes I know what to tell you to get you going. You know what I mean? Like I could say so. Dave, act like the Giants just beat the Cowboys in triple overtime to eliminate them from the playoffs. Go. So it's a little notes like that I could give.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the other room rewriting the script with the cast, and so yeah, from what everybody said, you did a great job, and you did a good job on the one take where I was actually in the room acting. So yeah, it was fun. You got that. I think it's gonna be a fun character. And I love, I don't want to give away too much, but there's a scenario where you're going to have a rival who's also like a big guy. So it was cool to do. I mean, first of all, we shot it at an Elks Club, which it was really a perfect location.
It really was.
And I heard, also I heard about this downstairs room at this Elks Lodge where it's like covered in white fabric and there's like MMA fights going on there or something. I was dying to get that.
Underground Fight Club.
Yeah, Underground Fight Club, which is nuts. They were very nice, but all of a sudden they're like, can't use this back room. There's a blood drive going on from 12 to 2. Like, remember I moved the chair. He's like, don't touch the chairs from the blood drive. My sister ended up giving blood. Like half the extras gave blood, which was funny to me.
Well, they had to wait around, do something. So what the hell?
Yeah, and shout out to the background. It was really funny. We put the word out. Some people just can't make it, it's during the week and all that shit. But I got to give a shout out to Ron Urbanic, who I grew up with his family. They live right around the corner from me. I called him a jerk off because I just kidded around him. He brought like a lounge chair the second day. He was like, I walk in, he's rocking back and forth. And I'm like, did you bring your own chair? I was like, you're a jerk off. He laughed. That was fun. Julia, my friend, was there. Judy Hill, who grew up the street from me. And of course, you had Jordan Sievert, friend of the family. She's an actress. She's hanging out. Valerie Clemente, a doll, sweetie, cutie too. She came. Her daughter's an actress as well. Of course, my sister was there.
Who's the maybe you don't know. She was sitting at the bar for some of the scenes, and then she had to get up, walk away, black dress.
Yeah, you know what? She was like involved a little bit, and I don't know who it was. I think she was friends with one of the camera guys.
Rich. I want to say Rich.
But she was acting like, "Hey, Jimmy." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I ran the. You know what happens? First of all, you're on a set, and usually as an actor, I have a clear head of just worrying about my lines, right? But I was wearing a couple different hats, and no offense to Tom. Tom broke his ass. There's a lot going on, and he was wearing a lot of hats yesterday, the last 2 days. And hopefully, if we shoot something again, I want to limit the amount of hats Tom has to wear. I want him to just worry about the direction. And the other guys, man, they're badasses. But and all of a sudden, you don't get a chance. Like, I didn't have time to say, well, who are you? It could be some of these people, if they're from Colonia, I haven't seen in 45 years. I'm like, oh, you're so-and-so sister? Like, I didn't know it was that kind of thing. There was a couple people there that seemed very familiar with me. And I'm like, are they fans of Beer League or Howard Stern? Like, I couldn't.
Well, my one guy, Jim Whalen, I produce his podcast. He was one of the extras for the Sports Consigliaries. He was the older gentleman with the white hair, sitting at the bar. He said he ran into you at the very end, and you're like, do I know you from somewhere? And he's like, yeah, I listened to the show. He's a big Beer League fan, but he does.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yes. I ran it. I said, oh, okay. And as soon as he said the name of the podcast, it rang a bell. I've seen you promote that. I've seen that. But yeah, it was kind of like that. Then I feel like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. Like, oh, Jimmy was there and even talked to me. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I? I don't know him. It's like, what am I, a mirage? And there were times where I felt bad. I had to go up to the cast because, I started to get frustrated by certain things. I won't really discuss them.
Your sister's squeaky chair? Yeah.
Well, that was funny too. The best part was when my sister yelling at me in between takes. Like, I was kind of egging that on because I think that's funny. That let's say I was a huge star, right? This was a major movie, and then your older sister's giving you shit. It's like I found that hysterical. Like,
it was funny.
You're not reading those lines right, like that kind of thing. But what happened was when you write something, which I did with Tom Baldinger. And then all of a sudden you're hearing it and then you're reading it. All of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. Why am I saying that? And you were there. And I said, you know what? And I got this idea from Mark DiCarlo. He's like, you try to get creative, good people in a room. And instead of being ego, like I am the written word, how do we make the next scene we're about to shoot as good? In other words, if the scene it already sucks, you can only make it a little bit better. But if the scene's like pretty good and you could change a line or two to make it better, get with everybody's input, they're playing the character. I tried to, because a couple times I said, wait, stop. Like, why are you saying that right now? It doesn't make sense.
I realized there's a lot of similarities between acting and professional wrestling when it comes to a script, because it's right. There's a lot of why, right? There was an instance where you would question like, okay, but why does he say that? Or why? It's the same thing in wrestling. Like if you power slam somebody and they're on their back, why are you picking them up again to do another move? Just pin them, right? Like that's the realistic thing. So it's the same thing with you guys. Yesterday, there was plenty of instances where I caught that, where you guys were going back and forth and you were trying to figure out, okay, that's the line, but this should be added. And why is this here? And why, you know, like there was a lot of like,
and you know, when you
surgery happening in the process, it was cool.
And the funny thing was, it was really over one line. But then it was like, and then all of a sudden you run into this. You make a joke about this, and then you're making a joke about the same thing. All of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, we got 4 mulch jokes. Like, wow. And of course, it's my fault. I wrote the goddamn thing. So you have to try to go, well, let's get rid of that. Oh, we changed that. So now we can add it here. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times I ask, like, why is he saying that? It was a couple of non sequiturs that when you write, you're like, okay, I got to get to this. Then and you just like on the show here, sometimes I'm like, and that brings me to Chasing Miracle. But when you're in a script and you're like doing a dialogue, sitting around a table, someone just can't like, here comes another plot point as their line. You know what I mean? You got to like, why do you get to that? And it was a little bit of a pain in the ass because Maddie Corman, who plays my wife, couldn't be there none of the first day. And
now I'm peeling back the curtain of acting too much here. And if you can't answer it, you can't answer it. And maybe it's not a personal question, but like, for instance, everybody gets a daily rate, right? For being there. Right. Yeah. So I even got a daily rate. I was like, hey, and I was like,
everybody, it's a minimum. Yeah. Well, any of the non-union people, I'll be dead honest with you. It's a low budget production. So the union guys got a certain amount, and I could have given you just $20, but I said, you know what, Tom? I said, let's pay everybody that's involved.
So what I'm saying is because Maddie wasn't there and Natalie had to do a lot of extra reading, and she filled in. Is that something that she can negotiate and say
no, she don't no, that's it.
I'm just curious.
It's funny. I got to bring that up. We definitely Maddie shouldn't get paid for the Monday for sure, but sometimes it's a 2-day. That's a producer's discretion.
I was just curious.
But no, you don't get any. Well, but you just brought up a great point. So Natalie, who's playing Rose, and in the original little pilot, some of the stuff we wrote, she played Julia. We switched her roles. And when you're rehearsing with another actor, just saying the lines, you could do that for a little bit. But it was like 2 days of having her read. So then when Maddie finally showed up, we're in there with Dee. Now all of a sudden her acting style is different. And it's good.
It's about pace and like, yeah.
Okay, now she's doing this. And where do you feel? And I laughed. I finally nailed one of the scenes. I finally nailed. The camera was behind me. It was a close-up on her. And I'm like, I finally nailed it. And I'm not going to be. But there's ways to cut around that. And like when you see only the back of my head.
Well, I was in the production area. What do you call that? Home base. What the fuck? What do you call that?
What, the green room?
No. Like behind all the
Video Village.
Video Village, right? So I'm behind Video Village for all of Maddie's stuff on day 2, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you could tell there's 3 monitors, one close up of her, a wide shot of her, and then like a wide shot of everybody.
Right.
And like you could tell in real time, Tom is like putting X slashes through the monitors, like can't use that, but definitely use this and definitely use that. Like there's a lot of
there's a lot goes on. Well,
that's some serious shit.
Matter of fact, I laughed. There was one point, and I thought you were going to get pissed, but I didn't have time. I just went like, I almost snapped my fingers, and I just pointed towards Video Village because you were sitting hanging out, and I wasn't being a dick. I was just like, Dave, I need you back because you may see something like I needed an eye to like what's going, because I can't possibly know what's going on behind video.
Did you also notice me walk in mid scene or no?
No, you got you got in the way.
One of Maddie's final scenes of the day, right? I'm outside because remember they told me like you got to put your shirt back on because you're in the background of this. I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I go and then I go change again into a normal shirt, and I'm like, they're not filming right now, and I'm like, I open it up, you are midline, and I was like. And then I got
I didn't notice. I was so locked
dude,
in.
and everybody, even like the extras were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Fuck!"
But
and then it was that one, obviously. But
well, first of all, another thing about the background people, who a lot of them were like, I should say, some were good friends, some were like people. And Tom said it out loud, which I roared. When you're an extra, what happens is you just think you have good seats to the show. Okay. And
you guys are just standing around watching it.
The other actor, well, you know what it is? Sometimes you're rehearsing and the camera's, but so the job of a first AD on a big movie is to be like, there's someone like a second AD, I think, usually in charge of the background. And they are very like, hey, sir, you drank your glass. Make sure you put, like, it's crazy how they can be. And I'm laughing all of a sudden after that one take, guys, you're just sitting around watching Jimmy talk. And, but you also have to be, since you're at a party for me, you also have to be, you might look over and, that's Jimmy, or, that. But if you're talking to someone at the bar. You
just have to be as like natural as humanly possible without making noise, right?
You know what you can't worry about, and all the extras do? You can't worry about how much you would be a horrible extra because you would be good.
All I would want to know is how much of me is on the frame.
Exactly. And I'm like, so what happens is, but you got to just talk at the, and my style of acting is to just act like there was moments, me and Deej have a good rapport on camera, I think. And that's because me and Deej are close. We lived together for 5 years. And I was like, a couple of takes when me and Deej felt clunky. I would just, me and Deej were very good at building each other up during the day, because we would get like, you get that lull, you feel like you want to have something to eat, you want a coffee, whatever. And he would go, come on, let's go. And then a couple of times, Deej was confused. I'm like, Deej, geez, I just act like you're talking to me. And then now it sounds silly to someone, but to me, it's like, if you and I were doing a movie and we were two guys on a podcast, I would be like, Dave, act like we're doing the fucking thing we do every week. And it just triggers your mind to think that way. And it was fun to do. I mean, I blew a couple of takes, But
my favorite things to listen to, and I'm the only schmuck laughing die hard, and sometimes it bursted out, but it was okay because we cut. But like that 2 second period when the lines are done and you guys can just improv whatever you want. I was rolling.
Well, you know what's funny? I guess because I started out doing voiceovers, and a guy always told me they call it a button, right? And me and Artie started out. I was like Shador Sanders starting. I knew nothing, and someone said to me, Jimmy, if you're gonna do a button, you have to give a little gap. So the guy, no matter what you say, you can say anything you want, but you have to give a gap so the editor can cut you out if you're just trying to be funny, you're kidding around. I don't know. For years, I just got good at that. There's like, you got to wait a beat.
You did.
My funniest one was right before the last. He told Manganelli, "Okay, and Manganelli, all you got to do is lean back. So we do the scene. It went perfect, and I say my final line of the show, really. And then I waited. I went, except you didn't lean back or something like that. It totally like broke his.
No, it broke me. It broke me when there was the line where she's talking to Alphonse, and she's like something like, "You got a little dick," and then it's and you're like, pause. Little dick day here at Shay. I was fucking rolling. I was like, oh my God. I gotta get out of this room or I'm gonna keep laughing.
Right. But it was fun. I love doing that. And you got to, some people are like, are you going to use it? You can't be that way.
Yeah.
You say on a 2-day shoot, you say 25 different things at the end of the scene, and you hope that one of them makes it. You know what I mean? But it was great. I mean, it was good working with like Francesco. These guys they're not rookies, but it was just good to work with them. But I felt bad for, like, I know Dylan Hardigan. He didn't have much. he didn't have much to do in this pilot thing, and neither did you really.
Which one is that?
He played Mario, the bartender.
Okay. Great kid.
And,
both of those guys cast
great
very
guy.
well.
Great
That
guy.
was
His mother,
they did really good.
His mother's actually my manager, Denise. So
okay.
He's a pro. He's been around, and we might actually. Matter of fact, I got to make a mental note to call him because he might have some. He's a music guy as well, and he has some free music that he has. Even some of the shit you're doing, if you need a soundtrack or something or background music, he has it. That would be cool. Give him credit for it. No, free, but something to get latch on. But it was cool, and I know the guy playing my son. We didn't have time to establish. There's so many little. That's where we're. How can I word this? We're getting away a little bit from the movie beer league in that you're really going to get to know these guys a little bit more. How my son is, how I am with him, how I am with my wife, and stuff like that. But we didn't in this script. We didn't really give Francesco, Liza, Dylan. We didn't really give them a lot of meat in this script, but that will come.
I was going to say, I think the pilot establishes the core back, and then the premise, and then you'll get to know these characters as you go. But I got to say, the kid who played your son, he delivered. I think he delivered.
Yeah. He. It's funny. You can't. He was sitting to my left a lot. When you're acting, sitting at your 60th birthday party and you're talking, you can't always notice. I can notice if someone's in front of me, what they're doing. And I thought everybody was relaxed, which I was worried about that because sometimes people, they get intimidated because like me and Manganelli, and we have credits and everything. And it's really not, that's not the way. It's like, if you're a rookie and you're in the NFL, yeah, you're intimidated, but you know what? Block them. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that was something that Deej had said day 2 early when we were all sitting around the table. You weren't there yet, but it was very like people were sipping their coffees. It wasn't active. It wasn't lively. And Deej was like, just embrace this because in about 5 minutes when Jimmy comes rolling in, that's it. Like, it's a wrap. You're going to be talking your dick off the entire day for the rest of your life.
Well, you know what's funny though? Not that I do it on purpose. It's just who I am, but some actors, like Anthony DeSando, they have a whole different process. And even Liza Grande, she wants to know, like, remember, did you hear, like, hey, how did you guys meet? She has a style. She wants all information, background stuff. But for me, I need to get going. I need to start ball breaking because I'm playing a ball breaker. So I just need to start moving. And then when I get on set, I'm not one of those guys I'm not a butterfly where Manganelli, he's a butterfly. Me and Deej are similar in that, like I'm the same way in the green room as I am on the set. But that works for me. I don't know. I've been doing this 35 years. Fuck do I know? But, my biggest thing is just remembering lines, get that down, and then the beats. So it's like, it's a 2-part thing. And a couple of times I always have my script nearby. And plus I wrote it, so I was trying to change lines. And it was a couple of times we did not have time to do another couple takes because I wanted to go, Tom, something's just. But then I realized with the editing, you can cut away. There's a couple of scenes we did, I thought, and Tom came up to me and goes, Jimmy, for some reason that scene went long. Not long in terms of like 9 minutes, like long in terms of repetitive, like, because it's supposed to be banter at the bar and stuff. And he's like, I think I'm going to cut some stuff there. I said, yeah. If it's got to flow,
What's the goal runtime of this pilot?
Well, interesting. So we had David Sonkin. By the way, everybody go to watch213.tv. Please sign up. Sign up. It's big. We're going to push that. It's a cool site. It's hard to explain the site. It's not.
You got to navigate it yourself to find out what you're doing. We can't do it justice here. You're gonna have to just go look.
Right. And exactly. And it's not a Netflix, although there are programming on there. And if you're the kind of person that wants to see some new shit, new talented creators, it's there. If you're that kind of person. But he's got a whole business thing going on with it and an idea. So it's really fascinating. And he's been around the block, this guy, David Sonkin. Really cool dude. We had a lot of laughs. So I want you to sign up for there and get that going. But I forget what the fuck I was talking about now. But the anyway, it was a great shoot. Oh, I know you talked about how long it's going to be. So we decided that we're going to cut it into a 20-minute pilot.
20. Okay.
Right. But once that's done, then we're going to say, wait a minute, maybe we're just going to do 3 6.5 minutes. Maybe we're going to do 2 10s, 4 5s. We don't know yet. He said, let me see the whole. You got to remember, it's a pilot and it's involved with the launch of 213. So it depends on, and there is this whole thing about short form stuff. And from Instagram and TikTok, everybody's a gnat now, including myself. I find myself, unless it's an engaging documentary, and we'll get to documentaries in a second. So I don't know. It depends on how we're going to market it, how we can follow along. But we'll see. Hopefully by October 1st, the editors are getting everything. I know you got dumped a bunch of shit from a Dropbox.
Yeah, that was all behind the scenes stuff, but it is plentiful. There is a lot of content.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet because I was getting ready for the show this morning. I knew you weren't going to be. So over the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to dive into that.
Well, that's another thing I was trying to figure out. Like, does behind the scenes stuff work better after it premieres?
Well, no.
Because I'll tell you right now, I have an actor friend who saw all I did was take a picture of like the set, like, hey, we're back on set day 2, and he commented, he's a SAG guy. He goes, "Is this a SAG project? Because if so, they would have kicked you off set for posting this in a story and then punched you in the dick." And I was like, whoa, relax. First of all, I know the actor, I know the producer, I know the director, and this is all social media driven. So why can't I just say like we're back on set? I'm not giving away anything. There was nothing to be given away. And he was like, "Oh yeah, they would have frowned upon that if it was a SAG project." And I was like, well,
no, that's first of all, that has nothing to do with SAG. If it's still photo, it's number one. Number two, what it has to do with is NDAs. So, like, I did a video game, I'll call it that, and I signed 1,100 pages of NDAs. Like, I can't really talk about it online and all that stuff. Not even at the table, they don't want you talking about it. And so it depends on if it's an NDA, like a plot point stuff. But for our thing, I even talking about the show here, I'm trying not to reveal too much. But you know what? That has, I get what he's saying, but
I didn't take it too serious. At first, I was like, "Ooh,
no, you're definitely."
And then I was like, "No, come on."
Yeah, if you do an episode of Law and Order, SVU, and you're the guy who cuts Marissa Hargett, stabs her in the eye at the end of the season, and that's how it ends. You can't go on Facebook and go, "Dude, just cut the final scene there. I'm the one who killed it." No, that you can't do. But if it's just like, "Hey, I had a great day on the set with Marissa," and a picture of her, which a lot of guys, that's one thing. A lot of the extras wanted pictures with me. I'm always like, I never do that. I always feel like we could have me and you took a couple, I guess, but like, probably should have did more. But again, it's a hard thing to do. And everything's got to be cut for social media. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be done by October 1st for a baseball playoff launch World Series. I'm crossing my fingers. I will be busting Tom's balls.
Somebody, the guy at the bar, my buddy Jimmy Whalen, he goes, "Hey, you guys gonna do another premiere?" And I was like, "I don't know. You gotta ask Jimmy. I have no idea." Like,
I don't. You know what?
Or something like that, or like I don't know.
We may not be able to because
it's on the thing.
He may not want it to be there. I have to ask him that. It's a good question.
It's a decent way to generate a little bit of revenue. I know it's never much,
that's completely up to David Sonkin how he wants to go with that. That's listen, and I hope he wants to do some more, which would be cool. So that's it. Beer League.
Well, I gotta feel it's not done yet. It's not all in the can yet. I gotta go
off.
Oh,
you gotta do. That'd be fun. Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm around for that for sure. You can have a plan. Well, we can't say. I don't want to say what you're gonna do, but
it's gonna be great.
That's gonna tap into you as Dave Sturt Show. It's going to tap into your wrestling shit. It's going to tap into talking shit. There's a lot. There's no way you'll fuck that up. It's right up your alley.
It's just me. It's me.
And plus, you do like 80 takes the way what the idea is. Matter of fact, I love my line. "Hey, who the hell is this guy?" I hope that matches. I hope that we nail that. Anyway. But it was cool. It was very cool to do. So anyway, if you can't see shit, make sure you go to Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937. All kinds of glasses there. Charles Oakley was not on the set yesterday, but he will be at Absolute
I heard he was supposed
Eyewear.
to be there and he didn't show up.
Yeah, he didn't show up with his kids. I was really bummed up.
You know why? You know why? He was at Absolute Eyewear.
He was at Absolute Eyewear, hanging out, shooting hoops in the back with Craig. Did we talk about? Oh wait, no, we haven't done it. I got to talk about the reunion game with Corona. We'll get to that in a second. Which you missed, but you would have loved a pizza afterwards. I'll talk about that. Anyway, Absolute Eyewear for all your optical needs here from the Omni in Atlanta. Give them a shout. Go talk to Craig and Jay Bird. What else we got here? Okay, now everybody thinks I make these asshole predictions. Okay. But I do get it now, broken clock twice a day. I get it. But there is a certain athlete in the metropolitan area. He wears number 27. His name is Giancarlo Stanton. Now listen.
Hold on. Last night's home run just landed. Hold on.
Okay. First of all, the argument to me about Giancarlo Stanton, I don't care if he doesn't get a hit for the next 5. It's like this guy. I don't know. Do you watch the at-bats? He looks... I don't recall. Judge has a different look. Judge's a great player too, but Stanton has this look of like a Terminator. Like it's almost like he's staring at the pitcher. Like I am gonna. If you don't throw a good pitch, you're done. I don't recall. Reggie had it a little bit back in the day, but he has this look of Giancarlo. He just has this look of like, don't throw. Like it's almost like no, I'm not a great hitter, but don't throw a bad pitch.
When it was last night, it was 3-1 count. He was staring a hole through the pitcher, and he was like, "I fucking dare you to throw anything near the plate. I dare."
And by the way, how about
that thing went and just landed?
How about the 2 foul balls? Like he was on it, like,
right back,
and you could see the pitcher's like, "Oh shit, this guy's," you know what I mean? And then
like the pitcher's like, "That was my best pitch." Fuck.
And then he threw a low ball, and it went 500 feet. Like, did you see how deep that one was?
451.
Yeah, the double he got.
I thought that was gone too.
The funniest thing about Stanton, and I know I go on, and you got to watch. If you're not a fan of it, if you're not a Yankee fan, it doesn't matter. It's not about. You got to watch how the fielders get beat. In other words, if you're a fan of the NHL, you should enjoy Stanton because if the shortstop was a goalie, and those ground balls that go through, these shortstops have the range of like they're like sprinters. But they get beat. In other words, the ground ball goes, and it's not close. Like and these shortstops, you get a ground ball to a shortstop in the major leagues, he's getting a glove on it most of the time, right? With Stanton, it's like a goalie like scores, like it beats them, and then the outfielders they get beat. Like they don't know whether to go back to the ball or go. In other words, and the ball's only 8 feet in the air. I've never seen that by another player. It's hysterical to me. And he's on a tear, man.
I know the Yankees were getting owned by Boston a couple games in a row. Then I go to the one on Saturday, which Jesus Christ, like I'm so glad I left early and beat that traffic.
Worst game ever.
But then since then. They haven't lost. So, it's 3 games in a row where they win again. So hopefully they get it. I mean,
they're playing now. I don't know what the score is. Maybe you can call it up.
They're playing right now.
It's a 1:00 game. Yeah. And
why the hell is it a 1:00 game on a Wednesday?
Yeah. And you know what annoyed me?
They're up 1-0 in the top of the third.
And guess who's not in the lineup?
Of course he's not. Yeah, because why? Because why would you?
Why would you do that, Boone? You know what?
What happened? Did you have was it a little bit less sleep? Was it a little less sleep? Was it the day game? Like, come on, man.
There's no way that Stanton's like, I need a rest.
They broke it down yesterday. I think it was Paul O'Neill who was on commentary yesterday, and he was just like, look, I don't care what you got to do. You can't take this guy's bat out of the lineup.
Right.
Like,
Listen,
you just can't at this point.
To me, he's like a giant robot, and eventually the robot's just going to explode and break into pieces. But while he's still there, I don't care about waiting for the play. Nah, let him run, let him go.
Right.
And if he blows up, well, Stanton's out for the year. What you got to do? I don't know, but you know what? Then again, I sound stupid because whatever they're doing, he's one of the best hitters in baseball the last 6 weeks.
He's locked in, that's for sure.
And another thing, it annoys my soul, and I'm even looking at it now. The Yankees, oh my God. The Yankees, see what they did to their lineup? They did it like softball. Let me put the worst three hitters in baseball at the end. Volpe, Wells, and McMahon. I'm telling you, this guy McMahon.
Can't hit for shit.
How many times have I said to you, and I don't want to use the word racist, it's not the right word, but you get Italian, Volpe, New Jersey. This guy, he cannot get a hit for 5 years, and people are like, Volpe. But if his name was Escoban de Helamandare, he'd be out of here. And it's like, no, like this guy McMahon, he looks like a nice young fella you meet over at the Parker House.
Strapping young lad.
You know what I mean? He stinks.
He's horrible.
I don't care if a guy is from Russia. I get him, and if he hits sports fans. A real sports fan doesn't care. I know he murdered his family, but I tell you what, it's like we don't care. We don't care about his political views. I just want you to hit, play, throw a touchdown. It doesn't matter. And the Yankees have Volpe's batting 206, Wells is batting 204, and McMahon's batting 215. Let's see, they all struck out. Wells and McMahon already struck out today. I mean, like these guys, they're back. What is this? The end of the lineup. It's
who's on over. Who's pitching? Is it Schittler or whatever?
Fried, who stinks.
Oh, well then, not for nothing, but then all they need, you would think, all they need is like 2-3 runs today, and they'll win the game. You know what I mean? But
kiss to death. He's pitching a no hitter after 3, but that's kiss to death now.
Nah, like what you fucking did, bro.
He'll give up 9 hits anyway. I just don't understand. But the Yankees, though, let's calm down. First of all, they're actually won 7 out of 10. But to be honest with you, the Yankees just feast on bad teams. When they play see their record against good teams? It's awful.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, and that just means when they get to the playoffs, they're going to get ran out of town. So
your football Giants, cut day. Cutlets is gone. Dun, dun, they cut DeVito. That's. I tried to look before we went on the air that he might get picked up maybe by the Commanders, which is smart because you pick up a guy who knows playbooks and planning and all that stuff. But as of 10-1 today, he was not picked up. There's something about the storyline there. Listen, all good things come to an end, I guess. But I hope he ends up I think he could be a backup in the NFL in the right scenario. I don't know. To me, it's just a good story. Listen, but when you're not a starter and you get cut. That's the way it is. Also, we're going to be doing the NFL next week. I'm going to talk about how the season ended last year, who was on the stinks list. But we're going to do something different. I think we announced it last week, but I'll say it again. 2 big fans of the show, Darryl Clark and Tyson Hogan. They're going to take.
Oh, you want to hear where DeVito signed?
What did he sign with?
The New England Patriots.
Oh, he's with the Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They stink. But you know what? Maybe that'd be good for him. Good for him. So
from New York to Boston, you piece of shit. Now you can go.
I know, but the Patriots they're not. Once Brady and Belichick are gone, that's just another team up there now. What the hell was I saying? So for the NFL stinks list, which is will be starting, we're gonna do a preview. But this year we're gonna do one unique thing. 2 fans of the show, Darryl Clark, Tyson Hogan. They're each gonna get a division. And they're going to, early Tuesday morning, they're going to text me what their division stinks. And I will use that. And then you and I can argue how shitty their picks are on that. We'll laugh over that. So that'll be fun.
This is what happens when you're a Patreon member, guys. So maybe find out if you get involved with the show.
I think it'll be fun to see. And they'll get, in the beginning, they're going to screw it up because they don't think, you got to think you're a guy on the couch. The way I do the stinks list is very simple. You turn the game on, you watch for 10 minutes, and someone says, what game is on? And you say, the Patriots are playing the Rams. And you're like, Patriots stink. Based upon 11 minutes of watching without doing any research, you just look at it. This team stinks. Then you realize, oh, shit, they put 59 points up. Maybe they're not that bad. So we're going to have some fun with that. And so now I wanted to get to this because I did, after our read-through the other night, I did a fantasy draft for my family. To all my fantasy draft fans, I would rather mow the lawn, mulch. I'd rather go drinking at a bar and watch WNBA than getting online with people And I guess if you do it at a party, it's more fun. We did it on a video online with the ESPN Draft League, whatever it is. And first of all you hear about is, man, if you don't have a good quarterback in the NFL, you stink. If you don't, of course, when you do fantasy, so in your fantasies of your NFL team, no, don't get near a quarterback for a while. I'm like, wait a minute. If you don't have a good quarterback in the NFL, your team stinks.
Mhm.
But when you do a fantasy draft, you can't draft I would so make it look like the quarterback stats should be above all. Instead, get a running back. Like, who gives a fuck about running backs in the NFL? I didn't know. I knew 3 running backs. So then I got so bored because some people in my family who I love dearly would walk away from the computer, and I had to wait a minute and a half for the computer to automatically pick it. They didn't put it on auto pick. It took me, I figured it out. It took me average of 19 seconds to get my pick in. And then I realized, you know what? I don't watch the rest of the league all the time. I'm a Giant fan. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start picking Giants. And then I realized, God, the Giants roster is so shitty. So this is now you have your fantasy team. You can look at it now. Okay, here we go. Here's mine. We'll compare it to yours. I truly believe, I don't think you can have a worse fantasy team than mine. There's no question about it. Ready? Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Not bad.
Okay. You know what? You do your, that might be the final, that might be your best response to anything else I'm about to say to you. So quarterback, I get a not bad from you. Running back, Cam Scatterboo on the Giants.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Okay. Running back, Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers.
God, Jesus Christ. These guys aren't going to see the field.
Wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants.
I have him on one of my rosters. He's going to be on the bench for a while, but yeah.
Okay. Wide receiver. Now I went Rome Odunze.
He might have a breakout year.
Oh, we love that. Tight end, Colston Loveland.
He's also in line to be pretty good for the Bears.
So not that bad. All right. My flex team, Keenan Allen.
I mean, he signed about 3 days ago with the Chargers. He was a free agent.
Okay.
But he's back to his original team, so that's cool.
My defense, the New York Football Giants. I figure, you know what? The defense, you don't get any points anyway.
No, defense will be all right.
The kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn.
Houston, good kicker.
Okay, here we go. My bench is Russell Wilson. I don't know why I took him as a bench player, but I figured if Mayfield sucks, I'll pop.
He's
Russell Wilson.
I would probably start Baker over him. Yeah.
I took Manungai, Rutgers guy, for Bears. Everybody's saying he's going to play a lot. I read that a few times, so fuck it, I didn't. He's on a bit. Josh Palmer. I took the Bucs defense. I don't know about that. I took Graham Gano as a backup kicker.
You drafted a backup kicker?
Yeah, because you get to buy. Who are you going to have kick?
You wait for that day to go get a kicker. You don't just leave a roster spot. Jesus Christ.
That's why this was 2 hours of my life that I actually started to paint a tree outside my house and watch that dry.
Some Bob Ross shit right there.
And of course, one of the best tight ends in the league, Theo Johnson.
Oh my God.
That might be, I think, you know what? Let me ask you, you're a fantasy guy. I think Theo Johnson might be the worst pick.
I would say that, or Pacheco
probably. Maybe isn't play enough, I guess, right?
Isaiah Pacheco? Wait, you got Pacheco?
Yeah.
He should be in your starting lineup over fucking. Okay.
He is, but you said that was one of they're not going to see the field.
I was confusing him with Manungai. Sorry.
So, yeah, Manungai's on the bench.
Pacheco's a great pick. Manungai probably won't see the field.
So you're saying my team is not as awful as I think it is?
I mean, if there's 14 games, you could probably swing a nice 6-8 with that team, maybe 7-7, go 500.
You know what? You know what happens to me about week 8? My quarterback will have a bye. I'll forget to put a quarterback in. All that shit. But that is my awful, awful, awful fantasy team there. Which, please, it's just what a terrible, terrible activity that. You know what? Right now it's neck and neck, pickleball versus fantasy draft. People are in 9 different leagues. Oh my God. Anyway, and I gotta pay for it. Madison's running it. I gotta Venmo her money. I'm paying to watch paint dry. Anyway, of course,
Judge just hit his 41st home run of the year, 2-run shot, 3-0 Yankees.
Nice. Yeah, Washington State.
He's gonna. Somebody just tweeted out the guy's gonna have the most unimpressive 50 home run season of all time.
No doubt. Oh, Bellinger home run too, and so did Grisham. All right.
Oh, so they're just crushing it right now. Okay.
Yeah, just can't wait to that bottom three: Volpe, Wells, and McMahon. The huge day tomorrow in my life, of course. The football Rutgers are on the air. Now, listen to me. I did a little research. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully, I can get you an extra ticket, get you in tomorrow, 6 p.m., Rutgers, Ohio. Not Ohio State, Ohio. Dude, I've been reading up on Ohio and all these. First of all, the spread's 14. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, I think the pick is Ohio in 14 for a couple reasons. They had one of the best defenses of any Power 5 team, which is the lesser leagues, the MAC and all that stuff. They also, and this is what scares them, our defense sucked last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They have their returning quarterback and all 4 of their wide receivers on a team that 400 yards a game, 30 points a game. Okay. You tell me that's not a disaster. Opening day, wide receivers doing crossing patterns. I think we're in for a nightmare. I think we're going to be able to score on them. But I am worried about this game because, listen, everybody gets beat every now. Well, Rutgers always gets beat, but every now you have people get upset all the time. But if Rutgers loses on opening night, it'll just be. It's New Jersey, Yankees, Mets, Rangers, Knicks, Giants, Cowboys, Patriots, DeVito. If Rutgers is 0-1 and you're in the marketing department of Rutgers, hey, have a nice September. Go
time to go.
Promote apple picking as an option at this point. So they have to win this game tomorrow night. And I think it's a bad matchup. I even read that Shiano, I guess they schedule these games in advance. Shiano's like not thrilled about opening up with them. So, but I'm going early with my daughter on the tailgate. I like to take in the first game, opening day here at Shea. So it should be a good time. And of course, all of this is brought to you by Oxy Magic USA.com. Right there, Dave with the point. Soon we'll be able to point to watch 213.tv. These people are great. Matter of fact, I called him on Saturday, and they are on the move. They're coming to Jimmy Palumbo's house to clean my carpeting, which is starting to look like the Dust Bowl here. So I'm getting involved here, so I can't wait to do that. And a little shout out to Tom and Natalie who are down in Chadwick area, and hopefully they'll come back to kick my ass playing. I got bitch slapped in pickleball over the weekend. A couple of ladies who are really good, and I'm always like, it's a chick, you know. And a lot of them are very good. Don't get me wrong, but not only did I get beat, I got beat where I walked off the court, and my buddy Dave was like, "Dude, you got smoked." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But inside, I'm like, the next time I get on the court with one of these, I'm gonna treat it like it's a death match. It was Sunday. I had stuff to do, beer league. I got smoked. Ooh, did I stink? So anyway, Oxy Magic USA.com. If your carpets are filthy, call them up. Everything's great about it. They're just really nice people. They get the job done for you. All right. Well, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I watched another episode of the cowboy porn, America's Team. I just, you know what? I'm in the minority, I guess. People are just loving the show. People love the Michael Jordan one. I just hate a show where it's like that. You told me, honestly, you said, Jimmy, no. They start to get out. They start to a little bit fair reporting as things go on. So I'll hold off bashing this thing. I mean, listen, if you're a Cowboy fan, this is like the greatest viewing experience. Totally wonderful experience. But as for me, I guess there was something about the way Jerry Jones sits behind that desk. And like, if you hate the Cowboys, this is like cocaine, man. This is like feeding right into the beast. You can tell though that Troy Aikman definitely has he loves the Cowboys. There's no question, but he has a definitely like, I don't know. How would you describe Troy Aikman in his interviews on the show? He has that little bit like, I don't know if you know what I mean.
I don't think he ever fully forgave Jerry for firing Jimmy.
Right. Yeah. So I did not get to that part. I didn't get to that part. You told me it's really cool, those episodes. So I'll watch it. But the thing that really blew me away was how, first of all, the shitty thing about doing the documentary now is is that Jimmy Johnson. If this documentary had been done a while back, because Jimmy Johnson became a lot of these guys when you go on those NFL shows, Jimmy Johnson became a cartoon character, just like
Right.
Strahan and Terry Bradshaw, but like
Howie Long,
yeah, like in other words, interview these guys 3 years after they played, very different interview. But Jimmy Johnson made what did he make? He made more money doing that show than he did as a coach, and he just retired. He's off now, right?
He's done. Last year was his last year, yeah.
And he said, time. And first of all, he's got to be close to 80, right? 75 at least.
Yeah, probably in the mid 70s.
Yeah, and you can tell though he's the fun Jimmy Johnson now, but you can tell this guy. And I loved some of the quotes by some of the Cowboys, like, yeah, Jimmy Johnson was an asshole, going on and on. And that one line about the asthma, you got asthma? There's an asthma field over there. Would you imagine saying that now? Oh, my God. I'm going to give it, I only watched 2 episodes. I'll see it through eventually. I'll try to watch a couple of weeks. So next week we'll talk about it. But another thing that blows me away though is like, the Cowboys have such a huge fan base. But man, I gotta be honest, like, dude, they haven't really done anything in so long. Now the Giants have been horrific for 8 years, but the Cowboys have been average. They've been like average for almost 30 years. It's unbelievable. I don't know how like it's almost easier if you completely suck. Because like Rutgers, I know what to do with it now. But
Johnny Box saying 82. Is that possible? He did go to college with Jerry Jones, so I guess they could be the same age of 82. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's older for sure.
He looks incredible. He looks for 82.
Great. Well, he's living a good life, I guess. But they
a lot of vitamin D down there and fishing down there in Florida.
Sponsored by Vitamin D here, which you and I get nothing of. For 2 days, I don't think I saw.
I take supplements for this. I take a vitamin D supplement for that cause, for that specific reason.
I got a lot of sun walking from the front of the Elks Lodge to my car to the Chimney Rock restaurant afterwards. But the Cowboys it's really uncanny. They were so big. First of all, there was two. To me, the Cowboys are 2 different things. You got the whole Landry thing. Growing up when I was little, the Cowboys were they were the 4:00 game. The Cowboys, Landry's or Staubach. I still love Roger Staubach and Landry. Who hates Tom Landry? And then all of a sudden they started to get shitty for a while. Not that long, not as long as you think. And then all of a sudden, Jerry Jones. I did not know this, and this is something I should know. When he made the trade for Herschel Walker, the 5 players, I did not know about. They cut them all, you get 5 picks. I didn't know that. I thought they just got 5 picks. I forgot they got players. No ESPN back really that way it is now.
No, if that was the trade for those players, then it would go down as maybe one of the worst trades of all time. But the fact that they turned them into picks and into stars, like that's a big deal.
Did any of those players play again?
The ones that we cut?
Isaac Holt.
Isaac Holt played a little bit, but no, the rest of those guys are no-namers.
Here's another thing. And if I'm wrong about this, you be the first one to tell me. I don't think I'm wrong, though. We'll see about it. One of the greatest college football players of all time was Herschel Walker.
Sure.
Okay? They made Herschel Walker on the Cowboys seem like he was one of the best players in the NFL. I do not recall that. I do not.
I think his career got better after he left.
That's what I thought.
Like when he was with Philadelphia, he was feared, to me at least. Like when he was with Dallas, Minnesota, I don't think he was anything.
I'm glad you agree with me on that. I was like Herschel Walker. I thought he was a little bit of a bust.
Have Herschel Walker in the documentary.
What?
Herschel Walker's in the documentary.
Yeah, but they kept on showing the fans like, oh man, we got rid of Herschel and they kept on saying Herschel Walker, arguably one of the better players in the NFL. And I was like, no.
I wonder if they're getting it confused with Bo Jackson.
That's what I thought. Bo Jackson was awesome. And then, of course, he got hurt. But Herschel Walker, I got to look. See, next week, I'll do a deep dive on Herschel Walker. I know he had a great game in '86 opening day at Dallas. I was at that game. Herschel had a great game. But I don't remember Herschel Walker with the Cowboys being an awesome
That's why they traded him. That's why they traded. He was their best player.
Right, but they stunk. But I don't like. He didn't get. I have to look this up. If anybody knows, send me an email. Like someone needs to prove to me. No, Jimmy Herschel Walker was a beast with the Cowboys. I do not recall that, which I thought was odd. But what else we got? How much time we got? Anyway, I got a big wedding this weekend. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Dave DeLisi's daughter, Kath, Dave and Tony.
1988, he rushed for 1,500 yards with the Cowboys. So, but that was it. Like 12 touchdowns his rookie year in 86. Under 1,000. His breakout year was 88. So they capitalized on his best year, and they traded him the following year. And in 89, he was.
What was their record? What was the record in 88? How many carries did he have?
How many carries did he have in 88? He had 300. In 88, he had 360. They rode him into the ground. He had 5 touchdowns. He only had 5 touchdowns, but he had 1,500 yards. And back then, 1,500 yards is fucking crazy because, like, back then, like 1,000-yard rusher was considered really good back then. Now it's like if you don't rush for 1,000, you're a bum.
Maybe it's because they stunk.
It was hard. It was hard to see the good in Herschel Walker because the team sucked so bad. So that's all.
That was with like Hogaboom and the Danny White
because they had to draft Aikman in '89 and he got rattled around and then.
Wow, so they were like 1-16 when Herschel Walker
1-15 on the '89 team. Yeah.
What about '88?
They were a little better,
like
not
3-13 kind of deal.
To that effect, yeah, because they still had a high draft pick the following year.
I guess he wasn't as bad.
They used it for Michael Irvin in '88.
Because I remember going, oh my God, the Cowboys, they just traded an average player for 5, but I did not realize they had to cut them and then get the picks, and that led to, of course, all these great players. But anyway, shout out to Dave DeLisi's daughter, Catherine, and Stephen tying the knot in Pennsylvania here. Where's it? Near Lancaster, Ben Salem Day here at Shea. Wedding on Saturday. I'll be down there looking forward to having a good time. My boy Dave and his family. And a shout out. Catherine's marrying an absolute great person, but he has a major flaw, and that is he is a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan. So I will be busting balls. I'll be in the.
I did like your dad joke of the century yesterday when you walked by all the people giving blood. There was a guy in the Mets hat. He's like, that guy's blood's no good. He's a Mets fan.
I walked by the blood drive and I saw a guy with a Mets hat. I'm like, hey, and they thought that one guy thought I was being serious. Hey, I go, a guy that's wearing a Met hat, his blood's no good. He looked at me, and then he realized I'm kidding around. Imagine a guy with a Rutgers hat. I would have been, stop the machine. Because I think that being a Rutgers fan is a blood disease. You can't. We call it the disease.
Do you think there should be like a certain month where they designate like November is Rutgers Fans Awareness Month, where we donate money for the finding of cause that causes Rutgers fanhood, actually.
Well, why am I a Rutgers? First of all, and another thing is, I want to get a shirt that says August. This is our month. Because we usually have one game in August. We play Carteret or Linden, and we usually go our record in August, between August 25th and September 8th, it's like Georgia, Auburn, Rutgers in there. After that, we drop immediately down. So August is our month. But anyway, shout out to Stephen and Catherine. Stephen, but you know what's great about, here's what I like. People don't, and you're going to agree. Here's what I like about Philly fans. They're from Philly. In other words, there's nobody living in Nutley, New Jersey, man. Remember my Eagles? No. For the Cowboys or the Giants or Jets. But in Philly, like, you're from Philly and you root for the Phillies, the Flyers, and the Eagles, and the 76ers. Like, I respect that. Like, that's where you're from. You're a big Eagle fan, Now, can you be a jerk off at the games? Of course. But I took him to a Giant game last. He's like the nicest kid in the world. Maybe he was being kind. He's with his father-in-law. I don't know. But I was like, I'm dying to beat the Eagles. We haven't beaten them in so long. But anyway, shout out. A great time, great wedding down there. Wish Catherine and Stephen the absolute best of luck in their new world they're entering as a married couple here at Shea. Also, don't forget Lisa Ruane. If you're feeling like shit, you need some help, give her a call, 201-725-1251. She'll guide you where you got to go. She's a therapist and all that stuff. She can help you out. And she's a good friend of mine. She knows what's going on. And that'll be a shout out. Don't forget to Tyson and Daryl. Thanks for all the well wishes while we're shooting Beer League. A shout out to all my Beer League people that are excited. I really like what we did yesterday But when it's finished 6 years from now, we'll be able to discuss it further. If I'm still doing the podcast, that's the over and under. Will my podcast still be on before the thing is finished? We don't know. But it was
I
a
got
good
faith
time.
in this one. I don't know why. I got a little.
I
bit
don't know.
more
You know
faith.
what? Listen, as a negative prick as I could be, I actually walked away saying, all right, I don't know. I just felt like, all right, I don't know how good it's going to be because, you just don't. But I'm like, I felt worse on Sunday than I did Tuesday night. I'll leave it at that. So
Right.
maybe
Sounds like
we
a
can
plan.
go out and win this damn thing. Who knows? That's it. Show number 231 in the books. I'll see you guys later.